Hey everybody, today is National Ugly Box Day. So that's what we're going to make today. We're going to make an ugly box because we are now on section 9, complex form number 1, building with slabs. So we're going to take some of that stuff that you've already been shown how to make and put it all together. So we have several steps that we're going to go through. First, step 1, to form a box, you want to first roll out your slabs and cut them to your desired size. Now I've done most of the grunt work already on this bit. So I've got pieces here for my sides, I've got a piece for my bottom, and I've got a top piece here as well. Now these little rolled out coils I'm going to be using to support the pieces once I get them put together in the box. And then, oh, I also have a little knob for the lid. So the first thing you want to do is allow your slabs to dry until they're leather hard. And these aren't exactly leather hard yet, but they're pretty close. They're good enough for now. All right, so I've done all that. Then you want to attach the slabs using your 4 S's of clay attachment: score, slip, stick, and smooth. So I have already even done the scoring. So on this one, this is my bottom piece. I've scored all the way around the edges already. And then for my side pieces, these are the interior side pieces. I've scored these sides and the bottom. And then for my exterior side pieces, I've scored the inside bit and the bottom bit. Now you may have noticed that the exterior sides and the interior sides are not the same size. That's because these are going to fit inside of these, and you'll see that in a second. So the first thing I want to do after I've done my scoring is I'm going to take my larger piece, my interior piece, which has already been scored, and I'm going to apply my slip. So I've got my brush and my slip, and you've all seen this before, and I'm just very liberally going to be painting this clay glue on here, and I'll do it on here while I'm at it. And I'm going to take this piece and apply it to my base. So I find it right on the edge there. And remember, anything that you put on here needs to be stuck down nice and tight, but anything that you put on here can also be smoothed out later. So if you get any finger marks in anything, or if it's not entirely to your liking, you can fix things later. Remember to score it and slip it. Get it down there nice and tight. And then I'm going to do the opposite side, but not until I apply one of these coils to the base down here. And this is going to be to support this piece, to keep it stuck down there, because I need my sides, obviously, to be very well attached together. So this is a little bit longer than I needed to, so I'm going to pinch a little bit off. I'm going to take a little bit of slip again, apply it in here, like so. I'm going to score my coil a bit. Just scratch it up real nice and even. And then I'm going to lay that right in there. And then I'm going to smooth it out. Press it in nice and tight. Smooth that out. You might want to even take a little bit of slip, put it on your finger. That'll make things go a little bit more easily and evenly. And remember, this is ceramics. Your fingers are going to get dirty, as is pretty much everything else around you. So there's my first side. Now my second side I'm going to do the same thing with. Now I've got my 2 longer sides on. I'm going to want to put my 2 shorter sides in, so I'm going to do the same thing with these as I did with the others. Notice that I'm slipping the inside rather than the outside edges, because these are going to fit inside my box. So again, down. Whoop, I did forget one thing. No, I didn't. I'd already gotten these. I'm good. All right, back in. And now I want to press my sides together. And remember, like I said, you can always smooth this stuff out once you get it put together, but you want to make sure everything's really nice and tight. Make it as even as you can, but you can fix that. Smooth things out. Okay, now I'm going to have another coil for the inside of this piece. Lay that in there. Nice and neat. A little bit long, so I can take that out. Add a little bit more slip in there. Smooth that out. Now don't forget, this is National Ugly Box Day. So I am making an ugly box. If I were doing this for real and not a demo, I'd be spending a lot more time smoothing things out, making things even. But I just want you to see exactly how we're going to put these things together. So now I have 3 sides up, all smoothed out inside. My coils are down here. I've got one more side to do. Now I'm making a really small box. This is 2.5 by, well, it's 5 by 5, but it's only 2.5 inches tall. What I would suggest, if you're making anything larger than this, you put one of these coils at every single one of your joints. So you would do them at the bottom like I've done already, but then you would also do one at the side joints as well. And you're essentially doing the same thing, but that would hold those together even better. Now, like I said, this is a small box, and so it's not going to be under a lot of pressure, but anything larger than this, I would do that all the way around. So now I've got my box put together all the way around. Now, what I would want to do, again, if I wasn't making an ugly box for the national holiday today, I would be very carefully smoothing out all my edges. I want to get rid of these seams so I can't really see these. Now your glaze is probably going to cover a lot of this up, but you still want things to be as seamless as possible. So smooth it around your edges and corners, make things look nice and neat, real pretty and smooth, and then you'll have the beginnings of a very lovely box. Now here's my box put together. The next thing I want is a lid, because without a lid, don't really have a full box. So what you want to do for your lid is you're going to roll out another slab of clay. And let me see if I'm getting this right. Okay, so I'm at step 6 now, and I've cut my lid larger than the box because I want it to overhang a little bit. Now what I've also done, you'll notice, is that I've created some other ribs here that are going to keep my lid in place. If I don't do these here, my lid's just going to slide all over and it's not going to hang on as well. So I've carefully measured the length and width of my box interior, and I've cut these and I've scored and slipped these to fit the lid, and I put these on in a way so that the interior measure here matches the exterior measure here, so my lid will fit right within my box. So with that done, I can take my lid and lay it right down onto my box. Now it's going to fit. It overlaps a bit, so I can pick it up if I need to, like that, once it's done. But I would like to put a little bit of a knob on my box. And so with this one, I have a very, very simple knob that I put together, and that's going to go right in the middle, just like that. And I would do this just the way I would anything else. I'm going to score this. and then I'm going to find out where I'm going to put it, right in the center, right there. So I'm going to make a little mark here, 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 and here, so that I can see where I'm going to be scoring my lid, so I don't end up with a bunch of scratches that I have to smooth out later. So I do that. Okay, now next step. Center my lid. I put the wrong end down. Careful not to push too hard like I just did. Anytime you're attaching things, you want to have some kind of support underneath them. So I'm going to press that down there nice and tight. Tighter the better. And now my lid is attached. Now I'm going to smooth this stuff out when it gets to be a little more leather hard. It's still pretty soft. But now I have my lid fitting my box. I've got all four sides the same length. It's a nice square box with a little knob on the top. The lid fits perfectly. It's not going to slide around or move anywhere. I'll fire these together so they fire at the same temperature at the same time. They should come out the same size, relatively speaking. Remember, they're going to shrink. But now I am the proud owner of a lovely box for Ugly Box Day. So that's how we put our slabs together when we're making a box. Now, another common object with slabs is a cup, which I'm not going to make right now. But you would, essentially, with a cup, do the same things that you did here, except rather than make the slab into a square shape like this, you would roll your slab out, wrap it around something round, say a can or some other roller, wrap it around there, seal it the same way that you would seal the sides of your box here, put it together like that, attach it to a base, make a lid. The only difference is that it's cylindrical rather than square. All right, so there you have it. When forming a slab, this is for number 2, when forming a slab into a cylinder, you must make sure your clay is not too dry. If your clay is too dry, it will crack, like everything else does when it gets too dry. And if your clay is too wet, your cup will have dents in it, because as you're moving it around the can or whatever you're forming it on, it's going to get pressed in with your thumb and finger, etc. You can always smooth those things out, but it's a lot better if your cup's ready to go. All right, so that's slab building, complex form number 1, section 9, and that is, let's see, that's our third set of 3 on the notes, so that means that 7, 8, and 9 will be due next, and then we'll move on to 10, which I believe is constructing with pinch pots. I'm looking forward to that one.